The celebration of the 8th Assembly was made possible by the harmonious relationship between the three arms of government in the state.
As we are all aware, on May 27, 2017, Lagos is exactly 50 years as a state. Over the 50 years of its creation, many accomplishments have been recorded by Lagos State. Lagos State has evolved as a state that set the pace for other states in the country, a feat that has extended to other parts of Africa. On May 27, 1967, our dearest state, Lagos, came into being as an entity. Its official pronouncement as a state was done on this very date according to the State Creation and Transitional Provision Decree number 14 of 1967, which structured Nigeria into a federation of 12 states. However, while considering the success of Lagos as a state, a fact cannot be overlooked is that the state parliament has contributed immensely to account for the much celebrated and touted success of Lagos today.
The Speaker commended the former Lagos State Governor and the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for his outstanding impact in helping to lay a solid foundation for Lagos State. He rounded off with a call to fellow members of the 8th Assembly to uphold the standard of the institution and be disciplined, selfless, responsible, and responsive in the discharge of their duties.
Today's celebration must not just be exhibition of achievement, but a call to think further, to plan ahead and expand our vision of what Lagos will be in the next half century. Mine is to have Lagos that will be beautiful and alluring than city of Paris. Lagos with effective and efficient transportation than city of London. Lagos that is clean and smarter than Tokyo. Lagos that is safer, more secure than Switzerland. Once again, I thank you for coming. Thank you for your listening pleasure. Ìtẹ̀síwájú ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó. And thank you very much.
In a brief, illuminating and reassuring remark, Lagos State Governor Mr. Akinwumi Ambode said since inception, Lagos State has been a shining example and hub of socio-economic and political development. He said the harmonious relationship between the three arms of government, which is visible in the governance model of the state, promotes the interest and welfare of Lagosians. He added that, despite the checkered history, the first to 8th Assembly of Lagos State has been the benchmark for assessing legislative business and governance of the Nigerian states.
On this auspicious occasion of golden anniversary of Lagos State and the second anniversary of the 8th Assembly, I would like to just, once again go through the list of all the speakers that have gone through this assembly as a way of just commending them and showing that we do appreciate all of them and also believe strongly that whatever it is that we're celebrating today, they've been part of that success story. In the first assembly, that's between 1979 and 1983, we had Honorable Oladosu Oshino. Between 1983, that's the second legislative assembly, which was just between 6th of October 1983 to 92, Honorable Oladimeji Longe. Shakiruddin Kiyomi. That's 1999 to 2003. Right Honorable Dr. Olorunnibe Mamura. And in the 5th Assembly, Right Honorable Waheed Jokotola Pelumi. And in the 6th Assembly, and then the 7th Assembly. And then now, to the glory of God, our 8th Assembly, ever since 2015 till date, Right Honorable Mudashiru Ajayi. Thank you so much.
The governor commended the 8th Assembly for being highly responsive and innovative in fulfilling its constitutional obligations. He said the essence of the gathering is to celebrate the contributions of the Lagos State House of Assembly, particularly the 8th Assembly, in the last 2 years. He commended the Speaker, Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, the entire members of the 8th Assembly and their predecessors adding that the success story of Lagos cannot be properly documented without the contributions that they all made.
The performance of this 8th assembly, including previous assemblies, can be attributed to the quality of leadership that has been produced through a mature and democratic process with the purpose of providing a democratic process that will benefit our people. Over the years, the legislative arm has been a shining beacon of democratic independence and responsiveness. It has never shirked its assigned role or responsibility, even in the face of provocation. It has continuously engaged the electorate in the process of making laws through interactive engagements and contributions to the making of laws. The synergy between the three arms of government, particularly the executive and legislature, have become the benchmark of the democratic process in Nigeria. As we celebrate the last 50 years of the creation of this state, we have laid the building blocks for the next 50 years, and I have no doubt that the 8th Assembly of the Lagos House of Assembly will continue to be relevant by raising the standard of legislative performance in a knowledge-driven era.
Former Lagos State Governor and National Leader of the All Progressives Congress (APC), Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in a keynote address, commended the Executive Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Akinwumi Ambode, for his achievements. He described Mr. Akinwumi Ambode as Wonder Boy, whose accomplishments speak volume. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu warned against military coup in Nigeria, as any attempt to truncate Nigeria's democracy will be resisted by Nigerians. He said the nation has gone too far to allow a military incursion. He therefore called for true federalism. Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu described the legislature as the voice of the people. He added that the present administration has taken Lagos State to an enviable height, making Lagos a fountain of activities and a reference point in everything.
As a state, we have shown we can do great things to enhance the lives of our people. In this vein, we have solid reasons to celebrate. We also have realized we have so much more to do. We need to do more in order to create opportunities, better education, improved housing, and more jobs for many of our people, so that all can witness the full blossom of growth, hope, and prosperity. We celebrate not because the work is finished. We celebrate because we have just begun, and because what we have been able to do is but small first stage of what we can do as long as we remain united, hand in hand, brothers and sisters, tied in common purpose.
Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu extolled the effective model of governance the Ambode-led administration has followed in its 2 years in office. He expressed satisfaction with the achievements of the 8th Assembly of Lagos State.
The spirit of cooperation continues with my successor, Babatunde Raji Fashola, and that spirit, I've seen it demonstrated before I get here. Today, that spirit of cooperation and collaboration continue with Governor Akinwumi Ambode, the wonder boy. This good house has collaborated with our governor. This is the way it should be. The cooperation doesn't stop or negate your oversight responsibility, but it is understanding that progress depends on that collaboration. In general, that is why you are making difference. Much of this success is because of what the enlightened and wise law you made. The House of Assembly, you've done well.
To further express their similarities in functions of the State House of Assembly to the National Assembly, the event featured a special session of joint legislative proceedings as members who have served the House in various capacities before joining the National Assembly were given the opportunity to be part of the special parliamentary session. Senator Solomon Olamileko, who has served in the State Assembly, the House of Representatives, and presently the Senate, was among the participants. In her remark, member representing Mushi Constituency 1, Honorable Fumilayo Tejuosho, briefed the audience about the Lagos State Domestic Violence Law, which she sponsored and was passed into law in 2007. She said the law allows the judge to hear domestic violence-related matters in private and makes it possible for everyone to be their brother's keeper. Also, member representing Kushofe, Constituency 2.
Some people would say that domestic violence has gone on the increase in Lagos State, but permit me to tell you that that is not so. It is better now because a lot of people are speaking up. They see that they are not the cause of their problems, and the Lagos State government has done a lot to put things in place to make life easy for everyone. When the law was passed in 2007, there was a shelter built by the Lagos State government to give temporary succor to the victims of violence and help them to learn trades and rehabilitate them so that they can go back to their duties. Also, the law was simplified and sent to the different schools and to the different persons around, and also translated into Yoruba, so that the people in the marketplaces and those that cannot read in English can also have the opportunity to read in Yoruba.
Honorable Tunde Braimo spoke on the Lagos State anti-kidnapping law. He said kidnapping in Lagos is now a capital offense that attracts 25 years or life imprisonment.
It is now fire for fire. The kidnappers and victims. It is no longer unusual for someone to just come to the city of Lagos, kidnap people, and take it as one of those life felonies that you get away with. It's not a capital offense to, because especially when the victim of the offense dies custody of the kidnappers. It's no longer those very long years of imprisonment, from 25 to life imprisonment, awaits people who attempt or who in any way perpetrate the crime of kidnapping in Lagos State now.
The guest speaker at the event, Professor Patrick Loch Otieno Lumumba, a lecturer of law, Kenya University, in a lecture titled The Importance of the Legislature in Democratic Governance, said Nigeria started on the right footing, but its government was rudely interrupted by a coup. He therefore charged the legislature to make laws that are people-oriented and to stamp corruption, greed, and personal aggrandizement through their positions. He also urged the legislators to see their offices as an opportunity to serve the people, adding that the duty of the legislature is to make laws that will make Lagos and Nigeria at large thrive. Professor Patrick Lumumba said he believes Africa's greatness is hinged on Nigeria's development. Therefore, Nigeria must rise to take its rightful place among the Committee of Nations. He warned against the practice of foreign laws, which he described as Eurocentric.
You must remind yourself that it is the legislature that must enact laws that will underpin democracy and good governance. You must remind yourself that it is the legislature that must create institutions that will ensure that the government of Lagos and by extension the government of Nigeria, the legislature must ensure that the politics of Lagos never stumble, and that the politics of Nigeria never stumble, and that they remain on a firm course, because Nigeria can be great and Nigeria must be great, but it can only be great if the institutions are great, and the legislature must be great, and it must be great when you start the next phase of 50 years. Nigeria will be great and Africa will be great. God bless.
Mr. Bismarck Rewani, CEO Financial Derivatives Company Limited, in a lecture, took time to analyze the economy of Lagos, adding that Lagos is the world's second cheapest city to live in. He outlined the benefits of doing business in Lagos and the necessary steps needed to guide Lagos and Nigeria at large out of the economic recession. Mr. Bismarck Rewani described Lagos State as the nucleus of economic activities in Nigeria Hence, if extracted out of Nigeria, Lagos State would be the 7th largest economy in Africa, while Nigeria will fall back to the 3rd position. So is the enviable position of Lagos in the economy of Nigeria. The event also featured interactive sessions that saw members of the House and guests asking pertinent questions that border on the subject matter to which the guest speakers provided answers. In the vote of thanks, the Deputy Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, member representing Lagos Island Constituency 1, Honorable Eshilokun Wasiu Sani, expressed gratitude to the participants, members of the House, and all who came to be part of the auspicious event. Member representing Shomolu Constituency 1, Honorable Rotimi Olowo, moved for the adjournment of plenary till Monday, the 27th of May 2017. This was quickly followed by the commissioning of the L-shaped office building for honorable members by the former governor of Lagos State, His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. There was a long queue of photo and video sessions at the reception venue of the event.
Prince Biscon celebrates 50 years in broadcasting and BOS at 25. By the grace of God, these milestone achievements will be celebrated on Tuesday, 13th May 2025 at Muson Center, Lagos at 11 a.m. To help facilitate a smooth transition in terms of planning in all aspects for the success of the event, the following friends have been entrusted with this task. Mr. Donald Duke, former governor of Cross River State, Otumba Senator Benga Daniel, former governor of Ogun State, Senator Doye Diri, governor of Bayelsa State, Senator Hope Uzodimma, governor of Imo State, Senator Dr. Olorunimbe Mamora, Professor Toyin Ashiru, Otumba Bimbo Ashiru, Bimbo Oloyede, Teni Aofiebi, Olorogun Peter Igo MFR, Senator Osita Izunaso, Senator Dr. Folashade Grace Bent, Sheung Olagunju, Mr. Anthony Raymond Dokwesi Jr., Chairman Dar Communication PLC, Alhaji Usman Mohammed, Dr. Ruben Abati, Mr. Oritz Williki, Olori Chief Mrs. Nikki Akonde, CON, Erelu Abiola Dosumu, Pastor Mitokpe Abere, President, Lagos Lawn Tennis Club, Prince Rotimi Martins, Chairman of Island Club, Chief Adekunle Agbebi, SAN, Chairman, Yoruba Tennis Club, Chief Kole Olateju, President of Association of Friends Club, Ambassador Toyin Lawal, Nigeria's former Deputy High Commissioner to the UK, Nata of Biscon TV fame, Ambassador Folake Marcus Bello, Nigeria's former Ambassador to Zambia, Professor Egusa Osagi, DG NIIA, Mr. John Momo, OON, Chairman of Channels Media Group, Prince Nduka Obaibena, founder of This Day Newspapers and Arise News, Mr. Bayo Awoshemo, Deputy MD of Arise News, Mrs. Ronke Ayuba of NTA fame, Honorable Abike Dabrierewa, Chairman of Nigerians in Diaspora Organization, Honorable Kafila Ogbara, Chairman of Women Affairs Committee of House of Representatives, Mrs. Moji Dokwesi, wife of Chief Raymond Dokwesi, founder of Dar Communications PLC, Modele Sharafa Yusuf, Nigeria's first female television sportscaster. This committee, made up of esteemed friends of Prince Biscon, will be coordinated by Her Highness Olori Dr. Nike Akonde, CON, and His Excellency Mr. Donald Duke, former governor of Cross River State. Remember, the date is Tuesday, 13th May 2025 at Muson Center, Lagos. Time is 11 a.m. Time is of the essence. Time to hit the ground running. May God bless you all.
Hello and welcome to Biscon Television News Roundup today. I'm Stella Aparo. First, the headlines. On the national scene, dead Nigerians, Africans and others without will may lose unclaimed estates in UK, according to report. Nigeria needs $50 million annually to match Brazil, South Africa in statistical performance, says World Bank. In business news, road concession toll gates will reduce inflation, strengthen Naira, says Rwanda. On the growing scene, Norway shuts embassy in South Sudan, tells citizens to leave. Now the news in full. It was reported on Monday that findings from newsmen revealed that thousands of people die every year in the United Kingdom without leaving a will or identifying next of kin, and among them are many Nigerians and other Africans whose estates, ranging from property to savings, remain unclaimed. The UK government's latest list of unclaimed estates, updated daily, included over 170 entries connected to African-born individuals, with Nigerians making up a significant portion of the cases. For many migrants, the UK became a home away from home, a land of opportunity where they built wealth, purchased property, and created a life. However, the absence of a will often results in their assets being classified as ownerless goods, leaving them to the custody of the Crown. Families back in Africa are frequently unaware of these estates, leading to a permanent loss of assets. However, the UK government maintains a public unclaimed estates list that is updated daily, according to reports. Families can search the list by name, place of birth, or other identifiers to check for potential claims. In another story, the House of Representatives on Tuesday passed for second reading a bill seeking to amend the 1999 Constitution to allow presidential, governorship, National Assembly, State Assembly, and local government elections to be held on the same day. Sponsored by Imo lawmaker Ikenga Gochunyu and 35 others, the bill was presented during plenary by House Leader Professor Julius Ihombere. A copy of the bill obtained by newsmen showed that it proposed an amendment to Section 116 of the Constitution by inserting a new subsection 3, which states, and I quote, "All elections into the offices of President, Governors, National Assembly, State Houses of Assembly, and local government area councils shall hold simultaneously on the same date to be determined by the Independent National Electoral Commission in consultation with the National Assembly and in accordance with the Electoral Act." A similar amendment was proposed for Section 132, adding a new paragraph A to subsection 1, reinforcing the requirement for all elections to be conducted simultaneously. When put to a voice vote by Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu, who presided over the session, lawmakers overwhelmingly backed the bill. It was subsequently referred to the House Committee on Constitution Review for further legislative consideration. Similarly, the Senate on Wednesday passed a bill mandating the compulsory registration of citizens, aiming to overhaul Nigeria's identity management system through the repeal and reenactment of the National Identity Management Commission NIMC Act. The passage followed the submission and consideration of a report by the Committee on National Identity Card and Population, chaired by Senator Victor Ome, representing Anambra Central. Ome explained that the legislation sought to establish a harmonized, cost-effective identity system that aligns with global best practices, enhances data accuracy, promotes inclusion, and fills existing gaps in the Nigeria Identity Database. Once signed into law, the bill also provides for the creation of a centralized database and a commission responsible for registering citizens and issuing identity cards. It now awaits consideration by the House of Representatives before being forwarded to the President or Senate. Away from that, the Federal Road Safety Corps said it had deployed 754 patrol vehicles, 143 ambulances and other essential equipment to monitor highways and manage traffic flow during the Eid al-Fitr. According to a statement signed by the FRSC spokesperson, Olusegun Ogungbemide, on Thursday, the deployment of these resources was part of the FRSC's strategy to reduce road traffic crashes, fatalities and injuries from March 27 to April 2, 2025. The patrol vehicles will be strategically placed along critical roads and high traffic areas to enforce traffic laws, clear obstructions, and provide swift responses to emergencies. In addition to the patrol vehicles and ambulances, the FRSC has also deployed 157 administrative vehicles, 48 tow trucks, and radar guns to monitor speed violations. According to the statement, the Corps Marshal Shehu Mohammed emphasized that the early deployment of these resources was part of the FRSC's proactive approach to managing the expected increase in traffic volume, speeding and other risky driving behaviors that typically accompany the Eid al-Fitr period. By ensuring a visible presence on the roads, the FRSC said it aims to deter dangerous driving and facilitate smoother, safer travel for all road users. Motorists were encouraged to report traffic incidents or seek assistance through the FRSC's mobile app, social media channels, or the toll-free hotline. In another story, the World Bank has recommended that Nigeria invests between $10 million and $15 million annually to upgrade its national statistical system and bring it up to par with countries like Brazil, South Africa, Mexico, and Colombia. According to the World Bank, Nigeria's statistical performance lags behind its aspirational peers and requires consistent funding to close the gap. It stated that an annual investment of $10 to $15 million would significantly enhance the country's capacity to produce timely, high-quality data for development planning and policy reforms. Senator Bagodu assured that the federal government remained committed to the independence of the National Bureau of Statistics, pledging continued support for its mandate of producing socio-economic data. Statistician General of the Federation and CEO of MBS, Prince Adeyemi Adeniran, also noted that the Bureau had received its highest funding in the last decade from the current administration. He stressed that increased investment and deeper engagement with development partners would enable the agency to perform better and meet growing data demands. You're watching Biscon Television News Roundup. Business news comes up next. Welcome back. Now to business news. On Monday, the Managing Director of Financial Derivatives Company Limited, Bismarck Rwani, said the concession of Nigeria's major roads in deplorable condition would ultimately reduce inflation, increase productivity, and strengthen the nation's wobbling currency, the Naira. Rwani is a member of the Highway Development and Management Initiative, HDMI, an initiative of the federal government that aims to attract sustainable investment and funding for road infrastructure development and asset management along federal highway corridors through a public-private partnership model. He said the initiative was the government's way of getting out of the way so that the private sector can put money into it. Rouhani said kidnapping, which has become a disturbing occurrence around the nation's highways, will be reduced. Rouhani said under the arrangement, private sector operators are given concession agreements for 25 years. He said the maintenance cost of roads would go down to the benefit of the federal government and sub-nationals. Now, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy, Wale Edo, on Wednesday, received the European Union Ambassador to Nigeria, Courtier Minot, in Abuja for high-level discussions on strengthening EU-Nigeria economic cooperation. A statement by the Finance Ministry on X on Thursday said Ambassador Minot underscored the EU's position as Nigeria's largest trading partner and a major source of foreign direct investment. He proposed the creation of a formal trade and investment dialogue framework to unlock further opportunities through enhanced collaboration, particularly in infrastructure, green finance and sustainable development. The meeting spotlighted the EU's 1.3 billion euros investment portfolio in Nigeria, the recent engagement by the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, and the Global Gateway Investment Strategy aimed at deepening Africa-Europe economic ties. The minister welcomed the initiative, reaffirming Nigeria's commitment to macroeconomic stability, investor-friendly reforms, and digital transformation. He emphasized ongoing reforms to improve the ease of doing business, projected a GDP growth of 4.6% by 2025, and rising trade surplus as key indicators of Nigeria's economic progress. In another story, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited on Thursday revealed that it is now in the final stages of preparing for its highly anticipated listing on the capital markets by the provisions of the Petroleum Industry Act 2021. The NNPCL Chief Corporate Communications Officer, Olufemi Shuneye, made the announcement in a statement released on Thursday in Abuja. He said NNPC Limited was currently engaging with prospective partners in an exercise tagged NNPC Limited IPO Beauty Parade, in line with capital market regulations before the commencement of the initial public offer. And listed the areas of partnership required to include investor relations, IPO readiness advisors, and investment bank partners. They said the company with the best offer in terms of project partnership would be selected for each of the three categories. An IPO is a public offering in which shares of a company are sold to institutional investors. The PIA provides for the NNPC Limited to list its shares in the capital market in line with the provisions of the Company and Allied Matters Act 1990. You're still watching Biscon Television News Roundup. Foreign news is next. Welcome back. Now to foreign news. Norway said on Wednesday it was temporarily closing its embassy in South Sudan for security reasons and urged its citizens to leave as clashes rage between forces allied to the nation's rival leaders. Fighting has been taking place for several weeks between federal forces loyal to President Salva Kiir and the White Army, a militia group accused by the government of collaborating with First Vice President Riek Machar. The clashes have left their 2018 power-sharing agreement increasingly fragile and threatened to plunge the country back into a civil war. Norwegian Foreign Minister Espen Barth Eide said in a statement, and I quote, The security situation in South Sudan has sharply deteriorated recently. This primarily affects the country's civilian population, but also has implications for our staff's security and freedom of movement, end of quote. They revealed that Norway's embassy in Nairobi will handle diplomatic affairs in South Sudan until further notice. South Sudan is the world's youngest nation, having gained independence in 2011. It soon fell into a 5-year civil war between Kir and Machar that killed some 400,000 people until the 2018 peace deal brought them into a unity government. Now, it was in the news on Thursday that the United States government under President Donald Trump has outlined plans to end funding for Gavi, a global vaccine alliance dedicated to expanding immunization access and improving public health worldwide. A document from the U.S. Agency for International Development, shared with Congress earlier this week, lists Gavi among the international aid programs set to be defunded, Newsman reported on Thursday. The document revealed that a total of 5,341 awards will be cancelled, amounting to nearly $76 billion in cuts. Of this sum, the U.S. government has already committed approximately $48 billion. However, it noted that the Trump administration would continue supporting grants for HIV and tuberculosis treatment, as well as food aid programs for countries affected by civil conflict from the U.S., warned that the funding cut could have devastating consequences. It warned that children would be left vulnerable to deadly diseases like measles and diphtheria without continued financial support. Now, on Friday, Russian President Vladimir Putin proposed that Ukraine be temporarily placed under United Nations control to facilitate the election of a more competent government, in a move seen as undermining Ukraine's current leadership. Putin suggested that international oversight could ensure democratic elections and bring about a government trusted by the people, paving the way for peace talks. However, Ukraine dismissed the idea, with officials calling it a delay tactic to prolong the war. Putin's comments have sparked international controversy as they challenge the legitimacy of Ukraine's elected government, particularly President Volodymyr Zelensky, who remains in office despite elections being postponed due to the ongoing war. While Putin framed this proposal as a potential solution, it has been widely criticized as a way to disrupt enemy progress toward peace, especially as the conflict enters its 4th year with slow and limited territorial gains for Russia. The US and European allies have reaffirmed that Ukraine's future will be determined by its own people and constitution. You're still watching Biscon Television News Roundup. The news continues shortly.
Hello and welcome to Sports News Roundup on Biscon TV. On Monday, we shared the story that Thiago Motta was sacked as a Juventus coach after less than a season in charge, with former player Igor Tudor replacing him. The decision to part ways with Motta came after a string of disappointing results, including consecutive defeats in Serie A to Atalanta and Fiorentina. Juventus had appointed Motta in June, offering him a 3-year contract following a successful stint at Bologna, where he led the club to Champions League qualification last season. However, under Motta's leadership, Juventus struggled to find form and currently sits in 5th place in the league with only 9 matches left to play. Juventus confirmed the move in a statement, thanking Mota and the staff for their professionalism and dedication, and announced that Tudor will take over as manager with his first training session scheduled for Monday the 24th of March. On Tuesday, we brought to you the news that Sepp Blatter, the former FIFA president, and Michel Platini, the ex-UEFA chief, were acquitted on appeal by a Swiss court in a long-running corruption case that had rocked their careers. The court's ruling upheld the 2022 verdict that had initially cleared both figures of all charges, including fraud, breach of trust, disloyal mismanagement, and forgery. Prosecutors had requested suspended sentences of 20 months for Blatter and Platini, but these were dismissed after the court found significant inconsistencies and contradictions in the case. Despite the acquittal, prosecutors have the option to appeal the Switzerland Supreme Court, although only on limited legal grounds. Platini, a former France captain and manager, expressed that the entire affair was a targeted effort to prevent him from becoming FIFA president, a position he had aspired to be but was blocked from due to the investigation. And then on Wednesday, we told you that Argentina secured their place at the 2026 FIFA World Cup in style, hammering hack rivals Brazil 4-1 in Buenos Aires to mark their qualification with an emphatic victory. Julian Alvarez, Enzo Fernandez, Alexis McAllister, and Guillermo Simeone all found the back of the net in a stunning performance by the world champions. The match came after Bolivia's goalless draw with Uruguay earlier on Tuesday, which confirmed that Argentina had already booked their spot in next year's World Cup. This commanding win means that Argentina, currently top of their South American qualification group with 31 points from 14 games, are guaranteed one of the 6 automatic qualifying spots. Brazil, on the other hand, sit in 4th place with their qualification still under threat as they battle to secure their spot for the 2026 finals in the United States, Mexico, and Canada. On Thursday, we informed you that former Nigerian Minister of Youth and Sports, Solomon Dalong, voiced his concerns over the Super Eagles' chances of qualifying for the 2026 World Cup. Dalong, who previously oversaw Nigeria's sporting development, criticized the current state of sports management in the country, which he believes has directly impacted the national football team's performance. He lamented that the Super Eagles, who had secured World Cup qualification with a match to spare in 2018, have failed to replicate that success, with their hopes of qualifying for 2026 now hanging by a thread. Dalong pointed to poor leadership, lack of commitment, and insufficient investment in sports as major factors hindering the team's progress. Despite the challenges, Dalong remained cautiously optimistic, stressing that while Nigeria's World Cup hope seems to be as slim, a remarkable turnaround is still possible if there is a shift in leadership and a renewed focus on sports administration and development. Finally, on Friday, we reported that former Barcelona and Brazil defender Dani Alves had his rape conviction overturned by a Spanish court after an appeal process. The Catalonia High Court of Justice upheld Alves' appeal, stating that the initial case against him contained several inconsistencies and contradictions. In February 2024, Alves had been sentenced to 4.5 years in prison for sexual assault of a woman in a Barcelona nightclub in 2022. However, after the appeal court reviewed the case, they found substantial gaps in the legal reasoning and factual inaccuracies in the initial ruling, leading to the decision to acquit Alves. The court also lifted all restrictions on him, including the travel ban and restraining order, although the ruling can still be appealed to the Spanish Supreme Court. Alves, who had a decorated career with Sevilla, Barcelona, Juventus, and Paris Saint-Germain, as well as a successful run with Brazil national team, which include 2 Copa America and 1 Olympic gold, is now free from all charges. However, it remains to be seen whether the case will be pursued further in the higher courts. That concludes our sports news roundup for this week. Till next week, it's bye-bye.
Hello and welcome to the entertainment segment here on Biscon Television News. During the week, the 2025 African Magic Viewers' Choice Awards (AMVCA) unveiled its list of nominees celebrating excellence in African filmmaking, acting and content creation. Nigerian actors Adedimeji, Lateef Uzor Urukwe, and Chioma Chukwuka are among the nominees for the key categories. Lateef Adedimeji is nominated for Best Lead Actor for his role in Lishabi, The Uprising, while Urukwe is up for Best Supporting Actor for his performance in Suspicion. Chukwuka received a nomination for Best Lead Actress for her work in 7 Doors. Other nominees include top names in digital content creation and multi-talented programs like Gone and The Immersive Alarm. The AMVCA 2025 also celebrated achievements in indigenous language films with nominations for Lishabi, The Uprising, 7 Doors, and Anikulapo, The Rise of the Spectre in the West African category. Several well-known Nigerian actors are competing for Best Supporting Actress, including Ireti Doyle, Mercy Aigbe, and Tina Mba. The prestigious award honors the creative achievements of those in the film industry, with key categories recognizing outstanding performances and contributions in both Western and indigenous African cinema. The full list of nominees promises an exciting competition as the event approaches. Moving on, Chef T, a popular Nigerian food blogger, shared her frustration over the country's tough economic situation, highlighting how basic necessities have become unaffordable luxuries. In an Instagram post, she expressed concern that many Nigerian adults are struggling to survive, with food prices soaring and other essentials becoming increasingly out of reach. She questioned how long Nigerians could endure merely focusing on survival, as things like car ownership and financial security have now become distant dreams for many. Chef T also voiced fears about the future of Nigeria and its unborn generations, stressing that the current economic climate is unsustainable. She pointed out that what might be considered basic in other countries, such as accessible healthcare, investments, and even owning property, has become an unattainable luxury in Nigeria. As the country grapples with rising costs and a challenging financial landscape, Chef T's comments reflect a broader sense of concern for the well-being of everyday Nigerians. Also during the week, Nollywood veteran actor Hanks Anuku opened up about his experience in the movie industry, revealing some of the struggles he faced during his career. In an interview on the podcast Nollywood Hardcore with Emma Labista, Hanks disclosed that he faced envy and blackmail from some of his colleagues, stating that there were instances of diabolism and jealousy aimed at him. The actor, who is known for playing villainous roles in films like Heartless Heart, Virgin's Heart, and Stubborn Billionaires, reflected on how his shine in the industry attracted negative energy from others. Hanks Anuku spoke candidly about the toxic elements he encountered, including the greed and envy that sometimes led to colleagues attempted to sabotage his career. Despite these challenges, Anuku remains a prominent figure in Nollywood, having featured in numerous blockbuster films throughout his career. His revelations about the darker side of the industry shed light on the pressures and difficulties faced by actors in Nigeria's movie sector, while also giving fans a deeper understanding of the complexities within the Nollywood landscape. And finally, veteran Nollywood actress Patience Ozoko shared how she managed to balance motherhood and her acting career thanks to the support of her family and community. In a recent interview on the Life Unscripted podcast, she revealed that having children early helped her juggle responsibilities, particularly after her husband lost his job. The family moved to the village where neighbors and relatives played a crucial role in raising her children while she pursued her career. Ozekwa described how her father's properties in Enugu allowed her to balance work and family as she would return to his house after shooting. Despite working on multiple movie projects at once, she found that financial stability came from her hard work. She also acknowledged the understanding and support of her late husband, who recognized that acting was their primary source of income, and the assistance of her in-laws during difficult times. That is all on entertainment news. Thank you for watching.
Welcome back. And that's it on Biscon Television News Roundup. I'm Stella Apara. Thank you for watching.
Prince Biscon celebrates 50 years in broadcasting and BOS at 25. By the grace of God, these milestone achievements will be celebrated on Tuesday, 13th May 2025 at Muson Center, Lagos at 11 a.m. To help facilitate a smooth transition in terms of planning in all aspects for the success of the event, the following friends have been entrusted with this task. Mr. Donald Duke, former governor of Cross River State. Otumba Senator Benga Daniel, former governor of Ogun State. Senator Doye Diri, governor of Bayelsa State. Senator Hope Uzodimma, governor of Imo State. Senator Dr. Olorunimbe Mamora. Professor Toyin Ashiru, Otumba Bimbo Ashiru, Bimbo Oloyede, Teni Aofiebi, Olorogun Peter Igo MFR. Senator Osita Izunaso, Senator Dr. Folashade Grace Bent, Sheung Olagunju, Mr. Anthony Raymond Dokbesi Jr., Chairman Dar Communication PLC, Alhaji Usman Mohammed, Dr. Ruben Abati, Mr. Oritz Williki, Olori Chief Mrs. Nikki Akonde, CON, Erelu Abiola Dosumu, Pastor Dotun Ojelabi, Olori Ladun Shijuade, Sonny Rabo, Bashorun Dele Momodu, Eugenia Abu, Cyril Stober, Michael Efyong, Barrister Shade Balogun, Otumba Deji Oshibogun, His Excellency Right Honorable Emeka Ihedioa, CON, Mr. Eze Anaba of Vanguard Newspapers, Mr. Gbenga Defaye of NIJ, Azua Rinze, Yomi Badejo Kusonya, Rufai Ladipo, Senator Ben Murray Bruce, founder Silverbird Conglomerate, Prince Adelano Adeshida, former Vice Chairman of Island Club, Mr. Temitope Abere, President Lagos Lawn Tennis Club, Prince Rotimi Martins, Chairman of Island Club, Chief Adekunle Agbebi SAN, Chairman Yoruba Tennis Club, Chief Kole Olateju, President of Association of Friends Club, Ambassador Toyin Lawal, Nigeria's former Deputy High Commissioner to the UK, Nata of Biscon TV fame, Ambassador Folake Marcus Bello, Nigeria's former ambassador to Zambia, Professor Egusa Osagi, DG NIIA, Mr. John Momo, OON, Chairman of Channels Media Group, Prince Nduka Obaibena, founder of This Day Newspapers and Arise News, Mr. Bayo Awoshemo, Deputy MD of Arise News, Mrs. Ronke Ayuba of NTA fame, Honorable Abike Dabrierewa, Chairman of Nigerians in Diaspora Organization, Honorable Kafila Ogbara, Chairman of Women Affairs Committee of House of Representatives, Mrs. Moji Dokbesi, wife of Chief Raymond Dokbesi, founder of Dar Communications PLC, Modele Sharafa Yusuf, Nigeria's first female television sportscaster. This committee, made up of esteemed friends of Prince Bisiolatilo, will be coordinated by Her Highness Olori Dr. Nike Akonde, CON, and His Excellency Mr. Donald Duke, former Governor of Cross River State. Remember, the date is Tuesday, 13th May 2025 at Muson Center, Lagos. Time is 11 a.m. Time is of the essence. Time to hit the ground running. May God bless you all. Ladies and gentlemen, history is about to be made. A legacy of excellence, 5 decades of broadcasting brilliance, and 25 years of an iconic brand. Prince Bisiolatilo stands tall as a trailblazer in the media industry. Join us on Tuesday, May 13th, 2025 at the prestigious Muson Center, Onikon, Lagos, as we celebrate Prince Bisiolatili's 50 remarkable years in broadcasting and BOS at 25. An unforgettable event awaits, featuring an insightful lecture, a prestigious award presentation, and the grand unveiling of the Bisiolatilo Foundation, an initiative dedicated to impact and empowerment. Be part of this milestone moment as industry leaders, dignitaries, and well-wishers gather to honor a man whose voice has shaped generations. The time is 11 a.m. The place is Muson Center. The celebration is legendary. Prince Bisiolatilo at 50 in broadcasting and BOS at 25. Raising the bar, setting the pace, and inspiring the future. See you there. As Nigeria's multilingual broadcasting doyen, Prince Joseph Adebisi-Olatilo celebrates 50 active years in broadcasting and 25 years, and still counting, of the Bisi-Olatilo Show, BOS. We thank God for the uncommon grace and strength He has endowed him with, for his consistency and relevance over the years in a field that is increasingly becoming highly competitive and expensive. Another point that has contributed largely to making Prince Bisi-Olatilo and the Bisi-Olatilo